I'm confused. Yeah, me too. Wait, let's chat. Welcome to Let's Chat GPT with Maria and Amna. Figure out how to intro things appropriately, because that's like a mess.
Okay, let's.
Hey boy,
because we're cutting.
I really wanna be with you. Can't you just Maybe we just sing a song every intro. Ready, set, go. Hey boy, I really wanna see you.
I really wanna be with you, cause you're just my type. Oh, nah, 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 nah. I need a boy to take it over. Looking for a boy to put in work on. Oh, 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 nah, nah. What's my name? Let's Chat GPT.
Yay! Welcome to the party, everyone.
Yes. Welcome, welcome. We're happy to have you all back. We are excited for today's episode where we are discussing more and more friendship. Woo!
Yeah, we're gonna, for our second episode, since in the first episode you guys got to know us a little bit and we told some fun stories, we figured we wanted to follow up and talk a little bit more about making friends and friendships and how we, like our personal experiences with friendships in our life, because we've both been through a lot, and the importance of having good friends in your life and how to make friends, because you've moved a lot, I've moved kind of a lot, and we both had to like start over ish. I really haven't had to start over as much as you've had to start over, but we can talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah,
and we're gonna obviously
absolutely.
have our best
we both have had our individual journeys when it comes to friends, and we've had our ups and downs. So I'm excited to dive into it a bit more. But first, I think we should maybe talk about some green flags.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have our best friend, ChatGPT, obviously guide us through this. Yeah, so we both like wrote down, I guess, our green flags, which I have mine written down there right in front of me.
Same.
Do you go first? What are your green flags in a friend? If you are meeting a friend for the first time and you're like, do I want to be friends with this person? Green flags you look for to know there is someone you want to hang out with again.
Okay, love that. So some of mine are, first off, if we have similar goals / values. When talking to them, is it that we're both like, oh my gosh, like we want to do that together or do that, or like, oh, I'm starting this business, or oh, my life goal is this, or I really value like family. I value quality time with my loved ones. So that's a big one for me. Another one is generosity. Are they a generous person? Especially living in London, there are a lot of homeless people in the streets. So
you want to accidentally befriend them and then provide them with a home and get trapped in that cycle.
Exactly. Are we offering them a whole home? Are we offering to at least like maybe buy them a quick sandwich or a drink? Like, what is that person doing? Because I spend a lot of time like helping the homeless.
Okay, please reference episode 1, pilot episode, to learn a little bit more about Maria's I don't know how to, like, I feel like for you, your biggest journey is like learning discernment. It's like there's a difference between like people you interact with that you can show empathy and care for versus like friends. To me, I'm like, friendship is like a certain type of like partnership, teamship, like whatever. So it's like you're allowed to use discretion. It's not mean to use discretion and be like, well, I don't think that we're like a good fit, right? Like in terms of friendship, if you're like, well, I've done all this work, you haven't done that work, we don't align. We've talked about this before. And
yes.
Whatever you said in the last episode where you were like, we're very different in terms of people. I don't think, but yeah, like just in terms of like filtering people, I think I'm a lot more like selective.
Yeah, I think even with like having people with different personalities, if the values are still the same, that's what can make a strong friendship. Also, like kindness, like maybe you're a bit more selective, but you're always still kind to your friends, you know?
To everybody.
As opposed to
But yeah.
And then I had how present are they in the moment? Like you said, we both have done a lot of work to get to where we are. When I meet new people, if I notice that they're on their phone a lot, or they're kind of like wandering, or they're not like all there, or they're just not 100% like in the moment, that's something, for me, it's a green flag when they are present, when they are like in the moment and they're able to have a good time and laugh and just have fun. So those are my green flags.
Okay, I do. Well, okay, so I guess I'm like, your green flags sound like super like ideal. Like, if I was being my ideal self in terms of friendships, there were things I do, but I just wrote down what like I actually like how I actually feel. But mine is like, I was like impulsivity or spontaneous. Like, I think when I meet someone and they're super like impulsive and spontaneous, where they're like, let's do this, let's do that, like I'm like immediately drawn to them, because I'm like, I just love really like high energy people and people that just like love to do activities together. And like, if someone's hitting me up a lot and they're like really excited, I'm like, yeah, that's what I like. And then I said like super fun, outgoing, like just anyone that's like, I guess it's like different types of friendships, right? Because it's like, it's easy for me. I've always had the mindset of like, it's easy to be friends with anyone, but like people where you're like, we can do activities together, but I actually want to like dive deeper into the friendship and like actually have you as a like key person in my life, if that makes sense. Because you can be like friends with a lot of people, or like know them and do activities with them, like, oh, this is my workout buddy, this is my whatever, but they're not like a key person in your life. Like, this isn't my like bestie who I'm like having deep chats with and like really almost like family friend, you know, type thing. So for me, like, I guess this is my green flags in terms of like when I meet someone and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hang out with them again. Impulsivity, spontaneous, fun, outgoing. I did put deep chats because I feel like that for me is the gateway to like, oh, this is a friend that I'm gonna like call and hang out with. Like, if we can talk more about like what's going on in our life and our goals and like things that we're working towards. Yeah, I also put shared goals, and then I put laughter. Like, if someone's not funny, I'm just like bored. Like, I'm like, I need a giggle. I want to make sure we're giggling together. That's like really what I wrote. I do think shared goals is a good one, because if you have shared goals, then you'll have shared activities. Like, if you're like, oh, I'm like on a fitness journey, and you meet someone who's also on their fitness journey, you're like, can go to the gym together, you can do walks together, you can meal prep together, whatever, and that's like ideal. Or like,
Yeah, no, I agree. I like your list. I feel like those are also on my list, like the spontaneity and everything else you said. Like, genuinely, that's so me as well.
I know, I'm like, we're the same. We both look for the thrill. That's the thing. I'm like, I'm just such a like, I'm starting to realize very like high highs. Like, I don't mind a low low. Like, if I've like felt crappy in my life before, so I feel like I'm not afraid of that, but I just like so live for like the thrill. So if I meet someone and they like get my adrenaline going, I'm like, yeah, like, let's go, girl, like, let's have a good time. But not like, not messy, you know. We'll get to red flags, but I'm like spontaneous, outgoing, but like put together. Like, I also don't really like, I naturally won't gravitate towards people who don't have something about them that I admire. Like, most of my friends, I will say pretty much all of my friends have some kind of something about them that I like deeply admire. You know, like, I have a respect and admiration for them outside of that. So it's like, if I meet someone, let's say they're fun, outgoing, but they're more like crazy party girl and they want to like go do random drugs, whatever. Okay, like, that's not the type of adrenaline. I just mean more like high energy, excitable, brave, spontaneous, but not like messy, chaotic, kind of like some of the, like, when we were talking about your new friends that you, or people that you hung out with like last weekend or whatever, and it's like, okay, not that type. Like, to me, that's not fun. But it's just more like energy is like good vibes, like good vibes. I just have to clarify.
I think, no, that makes a lot of sense, and I do think it's good to make that clear. Like, sometimes things can be a little bit black and white. It's like, okay, I do like this in a person, but not when it becomes past my boundary and past
Yeah.
my line that I have. So yes, I do like when someone is fun and someone is is spontaneous, but the second they're like, oh, like let's like do something that might be a bit dangerous or something that is just like, okay, but that's not fun, and also that doesn't align with my values and my goals, then it's like, okay, yeah, that's not my person. They
Yeah.
might have that one thing I like, but then like they've pushed it too far, and that's just not a friend that I want to have.
Also, I guess, like, having, because people think things are fun in a different way. Like, for me, it's fun to, like, get up early and go on a run and then get healthy food. You know, so it's like maybe you're not gonna have fun with it. No, it is. It's like people have fun in different ways. So for some people, like, it's really fun to just, like, go out and, like, do a bunch of different things and whatever, and, like, wake up late, whatever. But, like, maybe different people have fun in different ways. So if you meet someone and you're both having a really good time doing what you're doing, they're most likely aligned. Like, if you're both like, oh, it would be really fun to do this, this, and this, and they're like, oh my god, yeah, that'd be so fun. Like, I meet girls all the time and I'm like, it would be fun to, like, go to hot yoga together and then get smoothies and just chat, and, like, that's fun. And then they're like, yeah, that would be really fun. But you might meet someone that's like, I don't want to freaking go to hot yoga, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're gonna find that, because also if you, so really, I mean, we should get to the ChatGPT part because I feel like we're just gonna talk. But I was gonna say, like, really finding good friends also has to do with knowing yourself. And I think we talked about this yesterday a lot. And in general, I think in life, you can't find the things that align with you if you don't know who you are, because then how do you know if it aligns or not? So the biggest, most important thing in life is always going to be, like, you figuring yourself out and finding out like who you are, and then everything else gravitates towards you. So if you don't have friends, maybe you need a better sense of self.
Yeah, guys, you heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Know yourself. No, I'm just kidding, but I do think that is actually an important thing in finding, like, good, real friendships, is, like, knowing who you are, so then you can actually be like, this is not a friend, this is a friend that I want.
Period.
I feel like everything's lagging a little bit, but it'll have to be okay. As we progress, things will get better, but for now, like, it's gonna be lagging, the audio's gonna be mid, like, once we get supporters, we'll have to, like, start, like, a GoFundMe for equipment. Okay. So now we ask ChatGPT.
Yes.
Wait, but okay, we should each ask our ChatGPTs, because my chat knows me. Like, I love asking my chat, like, from what you've learned about me, like, what are my issues, and it'll, like, the other day I was like, what are my triggers, and it, like, have you done that? It's so good to ask it, be like, from everything we've talked about and, like, what you know about me, like, what are my triggers, or what inner work do I need to do, or whatever. So I'm gonna ask mine, from everything you know about me, like, who is my ideal friend, or what are green flags I should look for people I want in my life, and then you do the same, and then we can see.
GPT said, based on what I know about you, your ideal friend is someone who is kind, supportive, and shares your passion for personal growth, creativity, and community involvement. They're someone who respects your ambition, encourages your goals, and values open communication. This friend enjoys deep conversations, but also knows how to have fun, whether it's through exploring new ideas, attending events, or simply sharing moments of joy. That's pretty accurate.
That's pretty on point. Yeah, that's, like, literally spot on.
That's what we said.
Yeah.
That's literally everything we said. Our phones are listening to us.
I know, it was like, girl, I just heard you say it, so I'm just gonna read it back out to you.
And then the shared value, or the 5 green flags to look for, is shared values and passions. They appreciate your dedication to youth work, wellness, and creative projects like journaling or event planning. And they may share an interest in community service or personal development, making your conversations inspiring and motivating.
Aww.
Supportive and encouraging. They celebrate your successes, whether it's launching your dropshipping website, coordinating a successful event, or moving to Australia.
I hate the ChatGPT.
My third green flag is mutual respect for boundaries. Wow, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
They respect your need for balance between your busy career and personal life, giving you space when needed, blah, blah, blah. My fourth one is growth-oriented mindset. Interesting.
Yeah.
They're open to learning, exploring new opportunities, and improving themselves, whether it's trying meditation, discussing new business ideas, or attending an arts event. They are up for it. And then the last one, reliable and trustworthy. They show up when it matters, whether it's for big life events or casual coffee chats. You can rely on them to be honest and to follow through on their commitments, creating a stable and secure friendship.
Aww. Those are all really good. Yeah. And then, you know what? If you're like trying to manifest certain friendships, you can go in and then be like, based off everything you just said, can you create like, how do I manifest friends that align with this or whatever? And it can give you like a manifestation plan. I love ChatGPT. I just have to get that out there. Like, it's my best friend and my confidant. I'm just kidding. Okay, so you agree with everything. I don't want to read mine. I'm embarrassed.
No, we have to. We have to
expose it.
The people love to see our vulnerability and our honesty. They love that from us.
I'm not down. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm like lagging so much it's annoying me, but it's fine. Okay, mine is your ideal friend would be someone who is kind, authentic, and emotionally intelligent. They would understand and respect your boundaries while being warm and supportive. They also value deep, meaningful conversations, help you explore your growth and dreams while celebrating your success with genuine enthusiasm. They would match your energy in prioritizing loyalty and connection, and they would respect. I'm like, I need a loyal group of people. No, I'm just kidding. They would respect your journey of self-discovery and personal growth. This friend would share your appreciation for living intentionally, being present, striving to create a better version of themselves. They would encourage you to feel safe, free, and unapologetically yourself without fear of judgment. 5 green flags. I mean, these are so like, I'm like, be fun, but it's emotional maturity and communication skills, which is a little bit funny. No, I think my communication skills and friendships is like pretty strong. And I would say I don't know. They are able to handle disagreements and
my gosh.
What? They're able to handle disagreements and difficult conversation without resorting to criticism or defensiveness. They express themselves clearly and respect your feelings and boundaries. Which actually I do think is really important for me in friendships, because I've always said that about our friendship. I'm like, oh, like we can go through like annoyances and it's not a big deal. Consistency and reliability. They follow through on plans, check in on you without being prompted, and make an effort to be present in your life. They show you through their actions that they are dependable. I will say I've never come to ChatGPT about friendship issues. It's always been like relationship issues with boys and stuff. So I think it's also projecting that, because I think that like friendships and relationships require different things. But I'm just saying, I think it's judging off of that a little bit more. Mutual respect and support. They uplift you without diminishing themselves. They respect your individuality and are genuinely excited about your growth and happiness. They understand your need for space and energetic alignment. They value number 4, shared values and depth. They value meaningful connection, loyalty, and growth over superficial relationships. They're open to discussing life, spirituality, personal development. And they encourage confidence and self-acceptance. They create an environment where you feel safe to be vulnerable and honest, empowering you to embrace your imperfections and love yourself fully. So basically a friend who complements your journey, fostering growth, blah, 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 blah. This is true for like really deep friendships, but I just feel like there's like levels to friendships. Like you don't want to have that type of friendship with every friend, if that makes sense. Like who wants to have like 5 to 10, like who wants to have like, okay, 5 is a good number, but like 10 really close friends that you have really deep, like you can't do that. I can't do that. Like for me, I'm like, I have my 2 or 3 best friends that are like my closest. Like I just don't think that you can have that with a lot of people. I think that's like, but then you can be friends with a lot of people and have friendships that don't go as deep, and I think that's also okay. Because friendships like serve different like purposes, I guess, you know? You have different friends for different things. And they're still your friends. Just because you're not like, I share my deepest dreams with this person, that doesn't mean they're not your friend, but they're just not the friend that you do that with, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think that there are different friends for different functions.
Yeah.
Literally and metaphorically or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also think that maybe like at the like core that some of those values would still apply to friendships that aren't that deep.
Yeah.
Because you would still want someone to have that ability to like have an open and safe space for you to like be yourself, even if yourself doesn't mean like, oh my gosh, I'm crying because I'm upset with something and this person really hurt me, but also it just means like, oh, I share this joyous moment with you, and there's vulnerability in that as well.
Yeah.
Because some people are just selfish, and even if you're like, oh, they're my they're my like not close friend, I just party with them, I just see them from time to time, like you can still like get a sense for like how they would respond to other things. And sometimes people are just kind of like, oh, I don't really care, like we're surface level.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be friends with somebody. You might have a surface level friendship with somebody, but that doesn't mean that either of you are surface level beings or people.
Yeah.
And that's when it comes back to maybe still having those same core values and shared beliefs and everything.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah, I agree 100%. Because like I have had like friendships, quote unquote, or like where I've like allowed people into my life that I guess don't like you said, when you meet someone you can kind of tell sometimes if you're the same type of person like at the core. And sometimes you meet people where you're like, okay, this person, like you said, is a more selfish person or a little bit more like self-serving, or just doesn't really focus, like they don't have the same visions and whatever as you. And like even when you try to have that like more surface level casual, like for me, I'm just the type of person that always had, like, to me, I just like relationships, friendships, whatever, are deeper and more meaningful. So I don't gravitate towards people like that. But yeah, so I do agree with what you're saying. Like, I guess that person can be someone in your life, but eventually you just like won't really consider them a friend because you'll stop aligning. Like, I just think the alignment goes away. Because I remember, like, I am friends with a few of my coworkers, and like I was telling one of my coworkers, like, to me, characters, like once you get to know someone, you've like observed them in a few situations, you get to like, you start to develop their sense of character, and you're like, okay, like you said, you can start to predict like how they act and what they prioritize and what they would do. And I remember telling this friend, like, oh, or my coworker, like, I consider you a friend, and I can like sense your character, and I know that in certain situations I can trust your character to act in a certain way that I respect. And I was kind of talking about someone else that I know, and I was like, I don't trust their character. Like, in certain situations, if I was like, maybe they would lie, or maybe if they had the opportunity to cheat someone, they would do it. Maybe if they had an opportunity to do something that served them over someone else or whatever, they would do that. And for me, like, I do think that's always throughout my whole life been like a thing. Like, even my sister would say that to me, where she's like, you expect people to like care way more than, like, for her, she was like, I would always be like, obviously my friends don't care about me, like they care about themselves and that's it. And for me, I've always like wanted people in my life / expected people, and gotten frustrated in friendships because I expect them to care about me. Because to me, I'm like, I care about my friends and want the best for them. Like, if I have someone in my life, I genuinely want the best for them. And like, you know, I'm like, if I could like mutually have beneficial life with everybody, that's what I see. So selfishness or like super self-serving people are such a huge turnoff, because I'm just like, ew, you know? Yeah, it's just gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good point. That's a good point. Even the superficial, because eventually superficial like interactions just fade away. Because like as you get older, it's like, why would I prioritize this thing? It no longer, right? Like, it slowly falls. When you're younger, I think it, like if you're in college or when you're a little bit younger, it's like fine. But the older you get and the more like focused your life gets, the more it like falls away.
Yeah, 100%. Especially like in college, it's so easy to have superficial friendships and maintain them because you see them all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
proximity.
you
Yeah.
see them on campus, you see them like in the library, you're like, oh, I'm on campus, let's do something, etc., etc. But like at our big age,
Yeah.
like to keep having superficial friendships, that takes that time and energy, and you have to actually be intentional about it. And at some point, you're like, why would I be intentional about keeping up a superficial friendship when I have all of these amazing, beautiful, deep friendships with people that I still have fun with, have a laugh with, but then can also have that other like deeper layer to it.
Yeah. No, 100% intentional. That's like the most important thing. It's like as you get older in your life, or maybe as you prepare to just like elevate your life and you're like more focused on your goals, like everything in life does require intentionality. If you're like, I have a place that I want to get to, it either fits or it doesn't. And like, yeah, when you're younger, or maybe when you're just, you don't have goals or things that you care about or whatever, then it is easier to not be intentional because to you, you're not valuing your time or your energy. But when you're in a place where you really value your time and energy, like you said, I'd rather save the energy I would put towards something that doesn't serve me towards like a relation, like I could pour that energy into people that do bring me joy and who do uplift me, and relationships that I love, instead of wasting any like, yeah, yeah. I think it's definitely, I don't even think it's about age. I think it's like a point in your life. Some people, because you know, you meet people that are in their 40s, 50s that still just don't have that. And I think it's more like what you want out of life. And if you're at a point in your life where you're like, I want the very best, and I'm like working towards creating, you know, we're both on the, we want to create our dream life. We want to create a life that is very intentional, then those things do fall away pretty easily because you're just like, it doesn't align and it's not worth it.
Yeah, which then goes back to your point about when you know who you are and what you want, you accept nothing less.
Yeah.
But I also think when like going back to like college years, you're still like on that path. You're like, oh, I don't know
Yeah.
what I want. Like I don't know what I want to do. So like let's just like party, let's just have fun. Like I don't know who I am. This person wants to be my friend. Like sure, you're also still kind of like learning about yourself through others and through the world. So you'll
Yeah.
kind of like accept anything that comes your way until you either had enough like shitty experiences, or like you've just like found your path just from like searching within,
Yeah.
that you're like, okay, great, I know who I am, I know what I want, like I'm now in alignment, and then like everything else that's not in alignment has to go, and then that's when you make those changes.
And I do think like it's important, like there's no judgment in that, because also you wouldn't, like you said, you have to learn yourself like through the world and experiences. Because even now, like I'm like, oh, right now I know what I want right now, but like in a year that could completely change and my standards could completely shift, and all of a sudden your focus can shift. But like you're
Yeah.
not gonna know, so there's no judgment. And like if you're in a phase of life where you're like, I don't really know where my values are yet. I don't know. The way to discover your values and boundaries, and the way that like I've come to a point of understanding it, is going through experiences like you said, where you're like, I didn't know this was a boundary until it was crossed, and now I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with that anymore. And like I'm not saying you have to let people cross your boundaries, because sometimes you do know, but it's more like discovering what you do and don't like does take experimentation. And you have to just allow that. Like, and that college is the best time for that. You're meeting so many people, and there is like, I always think of life as like phases of like application and then reflection. Like sometimes you're in a reflection, like more isolated period, where you're like, oh, all this stuff just happened. Like I just went through this relationship, I just went through this friend group, I just went through whatever, and you're reflecting on it and you're like learning and you're whatever, and then it's like application phase. Okay, you're meeting people, you're having new experiences, and you get to apply what you've learned and learn new lessons and reflect again and whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, I mean, those are great green flags. Those are definitely pretty good stuff. Should we move to red flags? Do we feel ready? We kind of talked a little bit about red flags actually, because we were like, but
Yeah. Let me find my list for
yeah, what
red
did you
flags.
write down?
Mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good
Some
one.
Yeah, someone who's mean, selfish slash self-absorbed, puts boys over friends. Someone who compares a lot or is trying to be in competition with you.
Yeah.
And then someone who is like catty / like gives backhanded compliments. Yeah, that's my list.
That's my list. Yeah, I mean, I agree with all those. Puts boys over friends is definitely a big one for me in terms of girls, because, like, I was talking to Roy about this actually when I saw her, and I was like, I feel like when you're meeting new girls, you go out, and I'm like, anyone who's too focused on that, I'm just, like, turned off, because I'm like, you're that into just, like, if you're a woman that's still in the phase of, like, just desperately chasing validation from men, it's kind of like, girl, you're like fighting for pennies at this point. Like, you get nothing. Like, it's just, like, your focus is so, like, okay, that's, like, not even free. It's, like, below free. It's, like, given regard. It's just crazy. So I do think that's, like, for me, a huge turn off. I'm like, come on. I put chaotic / troubled. Which is funny because I put impulsive, spontaneous, but I also, as a green flag, but that's what I meant earlier, there's such a distinction, because, like, impulsive and spontaneous, I'm thinking more like they want to travel, they want to have all these new experiences, they're not afraid to, like, explore together, but chaotic, troubled is more like when someone's just, like, you just met them and now you're, like, trauma dumped on and trapped in their, like, just super, like, I don't know, doesn't, like, just kind of a mess, like, I don't find that attractive, and then I put rude, and then I put neediness as well, because I was like, that one's pretty annoying too, like, if someone's just super, like, just, like, being needy or, like, weird in any ways, it's like, I just don't have time for that, but, like, I think, like, as you get older, I don't want to keep referencing, we're, like, old women now, let's give you more knowledge. But no, just, like, like, overly neediness where they kind of, like, are all, like, depending on you, or you feel like they're kind of, not, no, like, you can depend on me. I don't know how to explain it, because like, don't depend on me or, like, expect me to be, like, a friend to you. No, I'm kidding. I
get what you mean.
Yeah, like, where it's like, when you meet someone, they just, like, immediately trauma dump and have these expectations, and then, like, want to call you crying on the phone, and you've known them for 2 weeks, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That's really all I had. Yeah, puts boys over friends, chaotic, troubled, rude, needy. And then I think all of your, like, self-serving, selfish, anyone that just, like, has a bad vibe. Competitiveness is a good one, too. Although I, like, recently realized that about myself. I was like, I've never thought, I don't think I compete with my friends, but I think I compete with, like, boys that I've been seeing. Because, which I never realized that. I was like, I've never considered myself a competitive person, but I literally have a tattoo that says born to win. And I remember when I was getting it, the guy was like, oh, are you really competitive? And I was like, no, not at all. But then I was like, but also, like, and then I was realizing that. I was like, oh, I do, like, kind of compete with, like, boys that I'm seeing. I'm like, I'm better than you. But yeah, in friendships, I do hate that, and I feel like when you're younger, that exists a lot more. Like, between women, like, I think there's always, like, a weird thing, and I think when you get to a point where, and that's, like, rooted in insecurity, right? So it's, like, maybe for me, a red flag is, like, being friends with people that are insecure heavily. Like, everyone has insecurities, but, like, being a secure enough person to be able to, like, celebrate other people's wins, because I've always felt like insecure people are the most dangerous. Insecure men are the most dangerous to date. Insecure friends are the most dangerous to have in your circle, because if someone's, like, heavily insecure and they're not working on it, and they're not aware of it, or they don't have a good relationship with their insecurities, they're gonna constantly project that onto you, right? Like, if you have a friend, like, if you feel secure in the way that you look, but you have a friend that's really insecure, they're always going to project their insecurity towards you. If they're insecure about some certain things or whatever, obviously, again, everyone has a level of insecurity, and that's fine, but are they able to hold their insecurities in a way where they are aware of them, they have a good relationship with them, and they're not projecting them onto you to where they can't celebrate your wins, or they can't genuinely want what's best for you, or they can't genuinely, like, love you. I feel like it hinders, like, the love for another person when you're also trying to, So, but again, like, is that a really high standard to have for every single person? Yes. But if you feel like you can offer that to people, I think it's fair to request it.
I don't think it's a high standard at all.
Okay.
Like, to want to have, like, because, like we said, these are red flags.
Yeah.
So technically, like, anything above this is the bare minimum.
Yeah, I know, but also, like, I do think it's a small, like, I think, I guess, as your, like, I think that as your standards get higher, it's like the type of people gets, or the amount of people that you connect with is smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's like, yes, that does seem bare minimum, but at the same time, like, I feel like 90% of people are insecure and kind of like, I don't want to say bitter vibes, but, you know, they're like in survival mode, and there's like that 10% that has done the work, like, right? Not a lot, most people don't do the work.
Yeah, the insecure people who might come across this will get really upset.
We're gonna trigger people?
We're gonna get hate for that. No, I think it's actually crazy that you said that, because the other day, like, I went to like a friend's birthday party and Danielle came along, and he was like, oh, why don't you hang out with that friend more? Like, they're great. They're just as confident as you are. Like, etc. Like, literally that. And I was like, oh, that's crazy, because a lot of the people I've met, like, in London have been insecure. They've not been confident. And that's been a main reason for the downfall of friendships.
Yeah.
Because they've been, like you said, projecting their crap onto me, or they're trying to, like, compete with me because they are competitive, because they're insecure. Mm-hmm. And so it is interesting, like, maybe confidence is a green flag then.
Yeah. Like, and, like, not even, I think that it's, confidence can be sometimes misconstrued. Like, someone can seem confident if they're, like, arrogant or whatever, but, like, confidence and security, like someone who is secure within themselves. Because I just feel like when you're secure within yourself, then you project less onto others, right? You can view other people, and you can view life in a way that isn't just, like, a projection of your, like, insecurities or whatever. I guess, like, I don't exactly know how to word that, but yeah, I agree. I do think, like, people that are on your same level of, like, confidence and whatever is super important. Because anytime there's, like, an unevenness, I think it can create, like, I just think of, like, people that I've met at work in the past and stuff. I can't, like, are we going to air people out like this? How do you reference people not being, like, this one girl that I know? But just, like, people that I've met in passing where it's, like, yeah, you feel like they're trying to, like, prove to you something, and then if you, like, like, the competitiveness is a really good one, because that one is, like, it comes out in subtle ways, and then you're just like, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to, like, prove to me that you can, like, pull, or, like, you don't have to, like, prove to me that you can, like, whatever. And it's like, that's just, it's also what someone tries to show you to prove, like, their worth to you or whatever, is also, like, them revealing what they value, right? Like, if someone's like, oh my god, all these guys really want me, they're, like, showing that that's what they value. And it's like, well, what if what I value is, like, someone who has a really good sense of self, or someone who has hobbies or someone who has, like, a growth mindset, and what you're trying to show me to prove yourself to me is something that I actually don't even value, then it's kind of interesting. I feel like when you get into, like, really, really deep chats, it is really triggering, because it's like you're kind of revealing the, like, such, like, deep-rooted things about, like, human interaction and stuff that sometimes people don't want to face, because it makes everything really, like, obvious.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. Like, I agree.
Cute. But I guess we have to just be ready to trigger people.
You have to be ready for anything. Should we ask chat? Let's ChatGPT our way into red flags.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Red flags to look out for in friendships. Maybe we should take a quiz or something, like a quiz that's like, what type of friend I am, or like, what are my red flags in friendships or something. I think it'd be fun to do that. Okay. Oh my god, I really feel like it's just listening to us. Oh, I should have told it give me 5, but it's giving me like 100. Ooh, oh my god, this is so good.
Did you ask based off of what it knows about you?
Well, I did it as a follow-up to the combo, so I feel like chat knows.
Okay, yeah.
It gave me 10. It said...
I asked for 10.
Okay, good. I was gonna say while I was reading this, I'm like, actually having toxic people in your life is kind of really fun though, because you get to like observe and psychoanalyze them, and it's like so thrilling. You know what I mean? No? No, because like if you meet everyone, that's great. It's good. I like the duality of it. I'm like, I like meeting messed up people and being like, what's wrong with you? I'm gonna figure it out. Okay, mine said emotional inconsistency, which is really interesting. They act warm and supportive one moment, but then distant and dismissive the next. If their behavior leaves you feeling uncertain about where you stand, this inconsistency can cause unnecessary emotional strain. That one's like kind of interesting. We'll circle back. Then jealousy or competitive behavior. They downplay your success, make backhanded compliments, or seem envious when you achieve something significant. A true friend. That one's like obviously a really big one. Lack of accountability. They don't apologize. They deflect blame. They refuse to take responsibility for their actions. They don't respect boundaries, etc. No emotional maturity. Overstepping boundaries. They push you into situations you're not comfortable with. Dismiss your no consistently. I'm literally thinking of such a specific friend during this, but yeah. Sorry. Gossiping or talking negatively about others. Yes. Okay, this one actually... Oh my god, yeah, this is so real. If they frequently gossip or speak poorly about people in their lives, they would do the same to you. They don't reply. I think it's such a turnoff when you meet someone and all they do, like, again, this one person that I have in my life, because I have to, literally, I, like, just random text, this person's so stupid. This person's so whatever. And I'm like, ugh, like, you're just so annoying. Or, like, just being so excited to tell, like, other people's, like, genuinely traumatizing life stuff. It's kind of sad. That just to me is so low level. Like, I'm like, it gives pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, gossiping just like I feel like everyone gossips a little bit and stuff, but just the way that they do it is really important. Like, if you're just like, oh, hee hee ha ha, like funny story, like debrief, but if you can sense the energy. Emotional drainage or one-sidedness, like if they dominate conversations, they rarely check in on you, treat you as an emotional dumping ground. You've dealt with it before.
Yeah.
Criticism or belittling, like they make you feel small or unattractive through jokes, passive-aggressive, subtle digs, facts. Anything, any subtle dig, like I'm holding on to that for life. I hold on to everything that people do. That's my thing. Unreliability, they cancel plans, ghost you, fail, show up, facts. That's just like you get 2 chances and then you're done. Like, nobody's standing me up. Manipulation or control, they use guilt, emotional blackmail, or pressure to make you feel obligated. Obligation, lack of growth or negative energy, they focus on negativity, they resist personal growth, pull you into unhealthy patterns, facts. Easy, yeah, done. I feel like red flags are easy because it's just like, ew. Right? You just get like turned off and you're like, ew. So, it's easy.
Yeah.
There's like maybe... I was gonna say maybe there's a few of these where it's less ew, because you're like emotional inconsistency, it could be more like a confusing, like you don't know. I've never had that with friendship, but emotional inconsistency on stuff.
I think they are easy, but that I also think at the same time it takes like having that like self-awareness to deep what's actually happening, because I remember one time I got off the phone with a friend and I was like in a really bad mood, and Danielle was like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, I don't actually know, I just don't feel good. And he was like, oh, well, what did you and your friend talk about? And I told him the conversation, and he was like, that's why you don't feel good. He was like, that's a crappy thing for a friend to say to you. And that, like, the whole thing was just, like, very, like, red flaggy.
Yeah.
But, like, for one person, that's easy. Like, oh my God, red flag, like, leave me alone. But for me, at that time, I didn't have that, like, self-awareness to even, like, know that, like, this friend was bringing that negativity into my like life
and
with that conversation, but then in general.
Yeah.
Should I say mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so lack of support for your ambitions. A friend who dismisses your goals, like moving, launching businesses, creating community programs. Someone who may undermine your drive and leave you feeling unsupported. Yeah. Disrespect for your boundaries. Someone who pressures you to engage when you need personal time or disregards your boundaries. Yeah, that just happened last weekend.
You're like, and that just happened, and I'm dealing with it right now.
Constant negativity or cynicism. Yes.
Yeah.
Unreliability. A friend who frequently cancels plans, shows up late, doesn't follow through. Yeah. Jealousy or competition. I have that one. You have that one.
Yeah.
We just talked about that. Yeah, everyone should have that one.
Yeah.
One-sided relationship. You have that one as well. Yeah, 100%. I know you said I just went through that. I know what friend you're talking about. A friend who only reaches out when they need something or dominates conversations without showing genuine interest in your life can make the friendship feel unbalanced. Dismissive of your passions, kind of similar to the first one. Gossiping or breaching trust. Someone who talks behind your back or shares your private information with others creates a toxic environment and erodes trust. Yeah. Lack of empathy and then draining energy, like an energy vampire. Yeah. Very much so. I've had a lot of friends who are energy vampires, and once I realized it was a very quick, like, swift cutoff as well.
Yeah. Was that the last one?
That's the last one.
Okay. Yeah, those are all good ones. I was like thinking about something while you were talking that I wanted to ask. What was the second to last one? That you said it was like energy vampires, the one before that?
So, lack of empathy, or gossiping or breaching trust, dismissive of your passions.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know. I think I was just like questioning in general. Like I was like thinking about, like, because what you were saying with Danielle, where like, okay, sometimes you get off a conversation, you feel drained, whatever. It's like how, I don't know how to frame this, / I kind of like lost my train of thought, but I was going to basically be like, what is the, not like what's the limit, but like with certain friendships, like how do you know if you are having an issue and it's like causing you to feel drained, or if that person is draining you. Like I feel like it also takes for example, like really good friendships might trigger you, right? Like a really good friend might actually trigger you in certain ways because they want you to be better, so they're gonna like hold you more accountable, or maybe they're gonna, you know, say things that you don't always want to hear, and it might not feel good. So you can't also always base friendships fully on like, does this friendship feel good? Because sometimes you won't feel good if, like, for example, if I come to you and I want you to just validate me.
Maybe a conversation that doesn't feel good and the friendship not feeling good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, like, if I would then be like, that convo didn't feel good, I didn't like the way, like, Alma spoke to me or I spoke to her, but then you have to look at the friendship as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, do you not like how you feel around Alma? Do I not like how I feel when we hang out? Like, that's what I think the difference is.
Yeah.
But I do think people should ask themselves those questions. Like, is it that, like, I just had one crappy or two crappy conversations with my friend, but they make me feel good overall? Or is it just that, like, anytime I'm with them, anytime I tell them anything, they're always putting me down? And that's what happened with this one friend.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Like, every single time we spoke, and she had almost, like, 7 out of 10 of the red flags.
I know, like, yeah, you were reading it, and I was thinking about that too. I'm like, that's funny.
Like, it was very, like, one-sided. It was very, like, selfish. It was about them. It was also just, like, gossip that didn't matter to me, didn't pertain to me, and really didn't even pertain pertain like to her well-being.
Yeah.
So like every single encounter, I would say like almost all of our encounters, I was just like, I could have honestly gone my whole day without this encounter. And it is a one-sided thing. I am helping them more than they're helping me, and I do think like all friendships should help each other.
Like symbiotic, yeah,
symbiotic. And that doesn't mean like, oh, like I give you this, you give me that. It could mean like, okay, you really helped me when I was upset or sad or down or like down on my luck this one time. I'm not expecting anything back, but I know you'll always have my back, and you know I always have your back.
Like you said, you're always uplifting. It's not like about giving anything, because sometimes all people need is support or hi. Yeah, so it's just about having that, like, I benefit, like you said, if this person calls me in the middle of the day, am I like, ooh, I feel a little bit more like energized from that convo, I'm having a better day now. Like, there's so many, it's like the thing where in my head I'm always like, my friendships have saved my life. Like, it's like when people have a dog and they're like, my dog saved my life. But I'm like, really, like, my friendships have saved my life, because anytime I'm like, if I'm having a day where I'm like, don't even want to get out of bed today, like I don't want to live this day, and then like my friends are texting me like good morning and telling me about their day, or like you call, or like one of my close friends calls me, I'm literally like, all of a sudden I have the energy and the will to live now. Like, thanks God. Yeah, like it really does make a huge difference, like having the right friends, because it's also like it could be the opposite, where it's a friend that calls and you feel even more drained, where you're like, oh, I feel like I have to serve everybody, I feel like I have to like give, and you get nothing in return and it's depleting, versus like people that like just give you like you are inherently worthy, if that makes sense. Like friends that make you feel like you don't have to do anything and I just love you no matter what, and I like you know what I mean, versus people that make you feel like you have to like perform or serve or do something, like it's just like a draining energy, versus an energy that's just like securely exists in your life of like, no matter what, like I love you no matter what, you know, like vibes, unconditional love.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that friendships are so important, and because we have so much value in them, that's when it can also just be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe I've had this friend for a couple of years and we're drifting apart. Like cutting off friendships can be hard, or like, oh wow, I really love that. Like I go out with them and I have a good time and we giggle and laugh, but like I don't feel like they listen to me. And then that's also when you have to decide, is this a surface level friendship, or is it something where you're like, this actually does matter to me and I place value in this along with the fun, and I do have to cut them off. And I think that sometimes like friendships are sometimes, depending on who you're dating, I think they can be more important than a relationship.
Yeah.
I think that we place so much emphasis on romantic love that we forget that some of the most beautiful relationships out there have been friendships.
Yeah.
And
no, seriously, like platonic love, like kind of trumps it. Like because especially sometimes, like when you think about it, it's like relationships come and go, and like you'll have a friend that has been with. Is that bad? No, but
I was just remembering when I asked you if you could be my +1 to that wedding, and the bride said no because all the other bridesmaids were bringing partners, and the only bridesmaids that are still talking to the people they wanted to be +1s or were +1s is just you and I.
We survived. No, but really, I mean, I think that, like, that's why Wicked is so good. Unless that one is kind of like, did you watch Wicked?
I did. I watched it, like, the first week it came out.
I didn't think it was good. I don't normally like stuff like that, so I forced myself to watch it, and I was like, wait, I love it. It was so good. But, like, really, like, that's a story about, like, friendship and, like, why friendship is so powerful. And I'm like, yeah, like, there should be, and there are a lot of movies and, like, art and whatever that romanticizes also, like, friendship and the power of friendship. To me, it's, I don't know. It's so cute. It's so meaningful. And, like, romantic love is a different type of love, but at the base of it, like, at the core of it, like, the love will last if that person is your best friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, I always say that, and I've always said that to my mom, and she's like, no, that's not how it works. But I'm like, I want to be, like, the person that I will love and marry is going to be my best friend, meaning they are a friend to me higher and more at a higher level than my closest friends. And if my closest friendships are so rooted in like unconditional love and support and all these beautiful things, like if a man can't provide that, then like the romantic love that's romanticized is just like lust and that chase and the little fun feelings at the beginning, but it's not your husband. It's not someone, because why, it's like ultimately friendship is the root of everything. Like, to me, I'm like, any relationship, any true relationship, it's like true camaraderie and like friendship and whatever. So, but yeah, they're just romanticized in different ways, whatever.
I feel like I've just like observing you and your relationship and everything with your family. I think you might agree with this, but even like my mom, like she's become one of my best friends as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
And like even when she told me like, oh, when you were little, I took you everywhere, like you were my friend. Like, yeah, of course I was her daughter and she raised me and took care of me.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom is one of my best friends. Like I tell her everything, and I feel like you said, friendship is at the root of everything. Like to have a good relationship with a parent, like as you get older, I do think like that comes with a friendship. Not saying like even when you are like growing up and a teenager and everything, like you can have that, but it looks a bit different because there's still those like hard boundaries and everything. Like this is your mom at the end of the day. But I know as myself, like being in my late 20s, and like my mom is my friend.
Yeah, no, I feel the exact same way. It's like you just, because when you're younger, it is like you said, they're like authority figures. There's like the disciplinary aspect, so they can't fully be your friend and you can't fully be their friend. But yeah, as you get older and they're kind of like have to let go, because it's like, okay, I'm like 28 now, like even if I make a decision you don't like you have to kind of trust me. But yeah, no, 100%. I feel like I've always kind of, like anytime I have super contemplative moments in my life where I'm like thinking about life, so I'm like, really, like nothing matters as much as like the connections and relationship. Like that's like the only thing that I feel in life is truly like invaluable. Like, is that the right word, invaluable? But like, like that is just like beyond anything, because I'm like, that is literally what decides the quality of your life. Like, I mean, yes, like money can help and all this stuff, whatever, but at the end of the day, like every movie, every story, it's not about things, it's not about like whatever, it's about experiences and connections and relationship. Like any good book that you read, it's always about like connection and relationship. It's all about that. So it's like even in your life, like the things that are the most valuable, that you can learn the most from, whatever, it's like crossing paths with new people in your life and having these like human to human interactions and like learning about the world around you through like connecting and interacting with other humans that are on this earth. So I really do feel like it is like ultimately the most valuable thing in life. Like to me, if I anytime I envision my life, I'm like, I don't care where I am, but if I could have like all my friends and my family near me, like I would be happy and I could see them every day. Like that's what creates a full life, is like having the right people in your life and having people that care about you and that you love, and like being able to pour into that. Like that's the most beautiful thing. But
yeah, even like studies, like psychology studies, when people are in their like 70s, 80s, 90s, and like asking them like either like one, like what you valued, or like, oh, how have you lived as long as you have, like everyone says like community.
Yeah,
like it's the people who love me and the people I love. And I do think like, especially now, people are talking about how like guys are lonely, and like there's just been so much tension and like drama and everything in the world. I do think now more than ever, like everyone needs to get their ducks in a row when it comes to friendships and connections. And like who do you love? Have you told them that you love them lately? Like especially like older family members.
People that are on their way out really need to hear it. I was just kidding.
Have you told your great grandmother you love her? Because you don't know how long she has.
No. No, but I mean, outside of that, it's like, like, have you had a conversation? Like, I know growing up, I always liked, like, interviewing my parents, because, like, like, if you have a great-grandmother, like, have you actually asked her about her life experiences and, like, like, gotten to know the person? You know what I mean? Like, you can have a grandma your whole life, but it's like, have you actually gotten to know them? Because there is value in, like, asking people their story. Like, I love that. I love hearing people's stories. It's just so, like... And then also they're like, they wrote the story themselves. So I'm like, damn girl, like, edit that. Make it better. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I asked my great grandma's still alive, but she doesn't remember anything. So my nana has been answering for her. And so she told me that she went to Washington, D.C. to celebrate MLK's birthday.
That's awesome.
In the past, yeah.
That does suck that, like, yeah, we're going to be 80 and our kids, if we have kids, are going to be like, tell me about your best friend. And I'm going to be like, I don't remember her name, but she was a sweet girl. And you're going to be, like, sitting right next to me. I'm going to be like, who is that? But that's the thing, guys. Life is fleeting. Our experience is fleeting. It literally, my computer. Anyways. It's saying my story. Okay, so this is our janky closing setup. Any closing remarks, Maria Gao?
No closing remarks. Just honestly, friendship means so much, and I really think that everyone should have at least one or two really good friends in their life. And we hope that this podcast feels like you're laughing with your friends and listening to your friends talk. Thank you all so much for listening to Let's Chat GPT.